All right, apparently Maxx Crosby's asking price has been revealed for the Raiders. I don't think he worth this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I don't think he really worth it, to be honest. Some Raider fans got mad on Facebook because I said that Maxx Crosby, he ain't no Myles Garrett or Micah Parsons. At best, he worth a second to fifth, a final call in a bean pie. Now, some of y'all might be like, what are you talking about? Others will know what I mean. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Don't even help them out in the and don't even help them out in the comment section if they don't know. Don't nobody tell. That's just between people who know. But shout out to my brothers in the nation. He said Maxx Crosby has emerged as an intriguing target for the New England Patriots. Okay, I'm reading from Boston, but a deal for the star edge rusher could even be costlier. According to Adam Schefter, the Raiders want a Micah Parsons type package. He's not a Micah Parsons type player. In exchange for Crosby, Dallas traded Parsons to the Green Bay Packers before the NFL season in exchange for Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. I was told that the Raiders don't want to trade him, and if they even contemplated it, it would take Parsons type of package. Adam Schefter told 97.5 the Fanatics, Kincaid, and I don't know what other dude's name on Wednesday. Do I think they're getting 2 ones in a player? No. Do I think they're going to want to trade him? No. Do I think he'll be traded? It'll change by next week, but certainly possible. So my thing is this: a lot of Raider fans say they not trading him. I don't care. I don't really care for the guy. I don't think we in a position to have to trade for him. I think if anything, if I'm gonna trade anything like that, I want a defensive tackle that can rush the passer. Or I want to get a left tackle. If I'm trading something like that, I want a superstar left tackle. How many games did the Raiders win last year? And do I think that quarterback is gonna help them? I didn't watch a lot of them. I don't think that's gonna help the Raiders. I think the Raiders it's just the son don't know what he's doing, respectfully. They don't have much talent on that football team. They won 3 wins last year. They don't have no talent on the Raiders. Brock Bryers is good. Ashton Genty, I think the best thing they did was got rid of that offensive coordinator that was trash out there in Philly. Chip Kelly, the Chip. I like Michael Mayer coming out. Other than that, they don't have nobody. They probably got some guys I'm just overlooking. They had that receiver, though. I like him, too. That tall-ass ninja they got over there. But other than that, it's just like I said before. Do you get better trading one of your best players respectfully? No. No, you don't get. But they don't have no talent at all. So I get breaking them down. But then again, you trade him and then you bring in Mendoza, and then it's like, you get 2 first-round picks and a start play. I mean, from an honest situation, I don't think he on Micah Parsons level. That's just my opinion. I think he a good player. Sorry for my dog deciding to drink water. He had 10 sacks last year. Now I know what they would say. Yo, if we put him next to a better player like A. Hutchinson, he should be able to. I just don't see the need to be that draft. If I'm gonna do something like this or remotely close, I want Myles Garrett. If I do something like this, I need to feel a true need, and I feel like that true need is they need somebody that can run. Maxx Crosby is a good motor and all. I need somebody that can run like Parsons. I need somebody that's going to close that gap like Micah Parsons. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, but he's been fairly durable. 15 games. They shut him down when he probably should have played 17, 12, 17. So 16, he's been fairly durable. He's been durable. 10 sacks this year, probably easily could have had 12 or 13 with a little bit of help of playing an extra game. 7.5 last year, missed 5 games for whatever reason. 14.5. I see what the nostalgia is. He from the area, but me personally, dog, I'm not taking that capital. I want to find a way to get me a tackle. I want to find a way to draft a defensive end, bring a solid guy in, keep Alquay and Muhammad. And if I'm going to spend any draft capital like this, it's going to be basically a defensive end, a defensive tackle that can rush the passer, which they ain't trading those guys like Jeffrey Simons. Aaron Donald ain't walking through that door. You know what I'm saying? What Leonard Williams did in Seattle, man, a chef's kiss. That's what you're really looking for. But if Aleem McNeil can kick back into shape, I mean, I don't think you're really, concerned about it too much if he can kick back in shape. But yeah, I just see this more of a necessity. It's a defensive end deep draft. Don't forget you got Trey Hendrickson who could hit the free agent market. Don't have to trade nothing to get him. Not sure if you want to come up the road and play in Detroit. But guess what? You can probably pay him the same money without giving up the draft capital to get Maxx Crosby. Now, is he Maxx Crosby? I mean, that's for you to figure out. We could pull up the statistics. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to act like I know. I don't know what he did this year, but I also know that he probably wasn't giving full effort because they was on some bull job. And Mike Brown been full of shit his whole career. That was like the only owner legitimately worse than the Lions owner, right? So I don't know what he did this year, but we about to look it up. So this year he played only 7 games this year. So whatever the situation was, the previous year 17 and a half sacks, 2 previous years 17 and a half sacks, played 17 games. Early in his career, he was a linebacker, ain't getting no burn. played 15 games in 2020, got 13 and a half sacks. 16 games in 2021, 14. So he gonna produce. He a little bit older. He gonna produce. So the question is, if I trade for my Maxx Crosby, he want to be here. I know he gonna be here. If I try to sign Trey Hendrickson, do he want to be here? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. But I just think the real urgency is gonna go to the offensive line. We start talking about center, left tackle. Even if Decker don't come back, they got to address it. And then when you start talking about needs on defense, you're going to be talking about, hey, we need to push the pocket. The best way to push the pocket is from a great defensive tackle. We can back Alquay and Muhammad. You can draft another defensive end. It's a defensive end deep. So me personally, I think if they bring back everybody and they get Maxx Crosby, let's say they bring back Alex, they draft, they got to replace them or get somebody to replace Alexander Zoney. The safeties come back healthy. I've seen Kirby Joseph post his knee on social media. BB can come back solid and healthy. The corners come back and finally play and healthy. It's a lot of ifs. And they can add with that defense that they got right now, people healthy, and they can add a Maxx Crosby, absolutely. But if you figure that offensive line out, but I'm not giving up a player in 2 first. I just don't see him like that with Jared Goff. I mean, I don't see him like that, like Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett. I don't see him in that same vein. But when you don't want to trade nobody, you set a high price. But like I said before, where do they stand at with it? That's the $1 million question. Where do they stand at with it? That's the question. Where do they stand at with it? Do they want to rebuild? And they need the capital? Do they feel like they can turn it around? And guess what? If Fernando, whatever his name, Mendoza, if he that guy and he could turn that around, you give up Maxx Crosby, you're gonna be crying. But in my humble opinion, if we keeping it funky and we keeping it a bean, I'm not giving that up for him. I try my look at Trey Hendrickson. Sorry, I just don't see him on that level. Sorry. Maybe I give up a first and that's it. But other than that, I don't see him on that level. I know people gonna call me crazy, but I don't see him like that. I can go out there and sign Trey Hendrickson, or if they franchise tag him and I can give up a 4th or 5th for him, then so be it. But yeah, I don't see him like that. But if I can give up a first and get Maxx Crosby and maybe a player, yeah, possibly. But I'm not giving up 2 1s and established player. I don't have players to give. But hey, that's just my opinion. Hit the link in the description. Check out Detroit Lions playlist. Hit the link. It said find me everywhere. You can literally find me everywhere there. I appreciate the love, support, and the Raiders gonna be in there. Oh man, I don't care what the Raiders think. This ain't Raider platform. Y'all ain't in our division. You take y'all ass on back over to the AFC.